Good morning to everybody here in Avos Shalom, in the Amud Yomi Shiur. We are plowing away and we're going stronger every day in Ezehu Neshech, Ayin, Beis, Amud, Aleph. That's where we are in Amud Yomi and Beis Amud Aleph. Is that true? Au Gavra, we're about to finish the page. Towards the bottom of the page, the third wide line. That's where Au Gavra. Welcome to everybody in Torah Anytime and YouTube. Au Gavra. Au Gavra. We're learning about ribis, right? And we learned yesterday about throwing the baby with the bathwater, which means sometimes if a shtar is not kosher, then the entire shtar, if part of the shtar is not kosher, i.e., there's ribis in the shtar, that the entire shtar is not kosher. The entire shtar is not kosher, even the part, according to Rabbi Meir, that is, according to Rabbi Meir, if a shtar contains ribis, then the entire shtar cannot be collected, right? Well, according to Chachamim, what did we say? A shtar that contains a ribis clause, the minimum amount, the principal amount can be collected, and only the ribis will not be collected. So Rabbi Meir believes in kansen, in finding the person that nothing, he will gain nothing of his forbidden shtar, right? We paint everything with the same paintbrush, and then we spoke about shtar mukdam. What's a shtar mukdam? An early shtar, a predated shtar. Predated shtar can be very, very deceitful. Why? Because the shtar is not really telling you the truth. Yeah, the shtar was written in Nisan, meaning I borrowed from you in Nisan, and really I'm writing in the shtar that I borrowed from you when 6 months earlier, let's say. And then the lender can come and say, look, the land, he can go to the customers, to the buyers of the borrower and tell them, look, the land you bought from my borrower was already mortgaged to me. And that's a lie. So even though that shtar really is a good shtar and there was a real loan, right? We disqualified this shtar, and that everyone agrees to that. And we're going to elaborate more, but now we're going to have a case of real blackmail. Blackmail in the times of the Talmud. Scary. Oh, Gavra, there was a man. The mashkin lepardesa lechavre. Yeah, his friend, he had, I mean, depends which side you start from. This guy had a pardes, he had a vineyard, a kerem, and it was mortgaged by him, which means this person lent money to his friend, okay? And now the lender, what does he have now? Is sitting in the borrower's field or vineyard, pardes, sitting there, and he's supposed to sit there for 10 years as means to pay his debt, either as a collateral or collateral that's already paying the debt. And he sat there, ochlot las shoni. He was already there for 3 years. And there is a shtar. What's a shtar? Shtar choiv. There is a shtar that says, let's say the one sitting in the field is Reuven. There's a shtar that says Shimon, the field owner, owes Reuven money. And that's why Reuven sits in the field. But he was there for 3 years. Everybody here knows what's 3 years in a field. Scary. Chazoko. Listen to the amazing blackmail case of history. Omerle, la niali, says the one sitting in the field to the owner slash borrower. If you sell me your field, mutav, then very good. I have an offer you cannot refuse. If you sell me the field, then great. The Eloi, if you don't sell me the field with money, I'm an honest guy. If you don't sell me the field for money, you know what I'm going to do? Kavishna lo l'shtar mashkanta. I will hide the shtar of the choiv stating that you owe me money. The amina, and I will tell everybody, lekuchei beyodi, hey, I'll tell everybody that the field is sold to me by you for no money, which means, what is the idea of chazoko 3 years? Everybody knows about chazoko 3 years. The idea of chazoko 3 years is a person is not careful, or Chazal did not expect the person to look after and save and guard his shtar mechire, yeah, the sale document for more than 3 years. That's why they said, if after 3 years a person was sitting in the field, nobody told him anything, it's an indication there was no mechod, there's no protest, it indicates that it's his. No, it's not enough to say it's mine. He has to say, the one sitting in the field, it's mine, and I bought it from you with a shtar, and the shtar got lost. Where is the shtar? 3 years, over 3 years, I don't have to look after my documents anymore. Like in Israel, it's 7 years. That's the law in this country. Yeah, that I know from the accountant. Yeah, for 3 years, after 3 years, I don't have to look after my document. Says Mr. Schwindler, blackmailer. He says, listen, if you sell it to me for money, then great. If not, I'm forcing you to sell it to me. If not, make sure nobody listens. You know what I'm going to do? Hide the shtar and tell everybody there was no choiv. There's no choiv. There's no debt. I'm not here because you owe me money. I'm here because you sold me the field, and it's been 2 years, and you didn't tell me anything. Ha ha ha! Everybody can see that you walked up and down, right by my field, which is really my field. He's lying, yeah. And what? And it was my field all along. That's why we kept quiet. Where is the shtar mechira? If people ask me, I'll say chazak for 3 years. Go to Bava Basra, the third parak, cheskas abatim. That was the case of blackmail. Now the guy, the victim of blackmail, is acting very, very, very smart. Ozal, when Shimon now goes, what does he do? Shimon, the victim, instead of crying, what does he do? Come, he got up. Akne lebnoi koton. He now gave this field, which now for sure belongs to him. Everybody knows it belongs to him at the moment. He gave it with a shtar to his son, which is below bar mitzvah. Yeah, soon we'll see why. The Ritva explains why. Now the shtar, now the field is stated. Let's say it's Sunday. On Sunday, there's a shtar written. The father gave his son below or daughter below bar mitzvah can receive a gift, and they are the owners. The owner of the field is a cotton. Says the Ritva, says the Ritva, a cotton can obtain, but it cannot be makne. It cannot sell on. And then on Tuesday, he played the game. He played the game of the blackmailer. The Gemara doesn't say Tuesday. I'm just giving an example. After the field was sold to the cotton, and there's a document that was given to the cotton, is under the cotton's name. Then he said, "Okay, no problem. I'm selling you the field." He took money, Shimon from Reuven, from Reuven the blackmailer, and what gave him a shtar. But then they went to BSD, and then the real owner showed, "Look, I sold it to him. Yeah, it wasn't really a sale because it belonged to my son. Therefore, my sale is nothing. I sold him a field that's not mine. The field belongs to my cute little cutesy cheder boy of 8 years old, and he's the owner. And don't tell me stories that the little one sold it to you because he cannot do such a thing. And anyway, the one written in the shtar is me, not my son. It was so smart. You know why? Because now you can't say I had another shtar and I lost it. Okay, this is the shtar. In other words, he made him believe, he misled him, the victim misled the blackmailer to think, yeah, this is the real shtar. Yeah, I'm selling it to you. He went back home, the blackmailer all smiles. And then the victim, the would-be victim, showed everybody, no, the shtar from my son was before the shtar of the sale. The shtar of the sale, because he's taina to start telling tall tales about, 3 years ago and all that, he doesn't sing that song anymore. He sings the song, look, I have a shtar from now, from this Tuesday, from yesterday. But then the real owner says, I have a shtar showing that this field belongs to my son 2 days before I gave it to you. And therefore, he got out of this case of blackmail. Now, we're not learning crime stories here. We're learning halacha. We're learning Gemara. Now the problem begins. The problems only begin. You know why? Because Lamaisa, he took money. On Tuesday, the victim actually gave the shtar. And now this guy, we lied to the liar. Now the liar, Lamaisa, gave money. Right? I don't like him. He was a blackmailer, but he did give money. He gave $2 million that the vineyard's worth. He gave it to the, so to speak, seller. It was not a real sale. And the shtar was just a way to get him off his back. It wasn't a shtar that was, as the Gemara is going to actually call this shtar all the time, lo nitan lekosev. It's a shtar that wasn't meant to be written. It's just a shtar that was a way, to get the chakra. What? It's a way to get him off his back, like a misleading thing, to mystify him. The question is, though, the Gemara now asks the following question about how will Mr. Buyer, not real buyer, blackmailer, how would he get back his money? Says the Gemara like this. Zbini vadilov is bini. The mechira is for sure not a mechira. It's not a sale. It's clearly not a sale. Why? Because he gave it to his son 2 days ago. So it's a fake sale. It's not a real sale. He never wanted to sell it. He wants to get him off his back. He wants to play his game of the criminal. And really, the sale is not a sale. However, the big question starts now. Zuzi. What about the Zuzi? What about the money that was given from the so-called buyer to the so-called seller? There was money given. And everybody knows, including who? The seller, that the money has to go back. Right? Just because he lied to you doesn't mean you can steal from him. He gave you 2 million cash, 2 million bank transfer. You're supposed to give it back to him. The question is as follows. Kemil ve'b'shtar domu ve'goy ve'menechosim meshuabadim. The question is as follows. Yeah, everybody knows if I owe you 2 million, I have to give you 2 million. Can you now go knock on the door of people who bought the land from me because I lent you 2 million and I borrowed from you 2 million? I owe you 2 million. Can you go to my customers who bought the other fields from me after the sale? Depends. If the mivel is balpeh, if the meal that was oral was balpeh, no, you cannot go to my customers who bought it after you. How would they know that it was a sale? They don't know. Therefore, it's not mortgaged, right? They're not profits. It's not part of their due diligence. The only reason a malvi can take field from lekuchos, from buyers who bought the field, is why? Because it's b'shtar. Milva b'shtar is something that has kol, something that has voice, something that has rumors, and people know about it. Therefore, the malve, the lender, can take it from the lekuchas. That's always a story. The question here is very, very interesting. This shtar is of itself not a serious shtar. This shtar for mechira, he wrote in the shtar, in this non-serious shtar that looks very serious. What did he write there? I'm selling you the field, and if anything happens, there's achrayus, there's a responsibility, liability. Yeah, if anything happens, you come to me, and that means to my customers. But that's exactly the question. Since this shtar, that's what the Rishonim explain. This shtar, the sale itself, is useless, is nothing. The shtar is a very good shtar, but on the other hand, it's good for nothing, because we know this shtar is not serious because the land belongs to the little boy, and he only wrote this shtar in order to get him off his back. Now, the achrayus in the shtar, does that stand as an entity as of itself? And we still say, listen, achrayus was written in the shtar. It's on paper, with edim, with kol. There's achrayus. And they're decided, no, already. A real lambda knows to appreciate the two sides of a question. And you go deep into the two sides of the question, and then you begin to think yes or no. Okay? Therefore, when you have the one side here, do we say, listen, there is achrayus. Lamaisa, the shtar is not a bad shtar. There's no mechira, but there's a shtar. And it says in the shtar, excuse me, I am achroy to pay you back the money. You know, it's even worse because you knew it's not a real sale. 1 second. So maybe now that guy, the Schwindler, who's now his money was taken from him, can go and knock on the door of the customers of the lekuchos, the buyers of the seller. Say, excuse me, I have a shtar here. And the shtar is from Tishrei, and you bought it from Cheshvan, give me. Or maybe not. Or maybe it's like Alpeh. Since the sale was not a real sale, the shtar lost its entire value because it's not a serious sale. Therefore, the achrayus, the guarantee in the shtar, is also a piece of nothing. And therefore, it's alpeh, it's like oral, and it cannot go to anybody to collect the field. That's the question of the Gemara. Amar Abaye, yes, yes, sir. Right now, the one who took to Beis Din obviously is the one who gave the money. The blackmailer failed without Beis Din. He was just a very smart guy, the one who avoided him. Now the blackmailer became the victim. Why? The blackmailer, Lamaisa, gave money. And now the blackmailer, who was Ki'ilu, the buyer, was led to believe he really bought the field. That guy says, I gave money. And by the way, the one who took the money knows that he has to give him back the money. He knows it was all monopoly, it was all shtuyot, and he knows he has to give back the money. The problem is as follows. That guy the one who gave the money, the blackmailer who gave the money, he wants to go and not get cash. He doesn't want cash, or he doesn't want his own field. He wants the field that a week or two later, that the boy's got. No, not the boy. No, not that one. No. He wants, no, of course. Avada, no. The boy was before. That was the whole idea. No. He wants another, again. Let's tell the story again. No. Okay, you lost the thread. Let's restart. It's not, forget about the blackmail. I don't care whether there's a blackmailer or not. There was a case like this. Mr. Shimon, Mr. Shimon was the owner. Gave the land he doesn't want to sell his land to the other guy, to Reuven. He gave the field to his son B'matono, to the boy, right, on Sunday. And then he sold it. Very good, yes, in a shtar. Now, 2 days later, week later, he gives the very same field that's owned by his son. He wants to give, that doesn't really want. He fakes, and he writes a shtar with the edim and everything, that he sold that very field to another guy who pressurizes him to sell it. Okay, with a shtar, with achrayus, with guarantee. If anything happens, I'll give you back. I'll compensate you. Okay. Now listen to the hemshech of the story. That's I think where you got me wrong. On Thursday, he goes to BSD. The whole thing blows up. It's not a real sale. Says the buyer, you can call me blackmailer, schwindler, no shidduch for any girl, but lamaisa, I gave money and got nothing. I'm the victim now. I want, and I don't want the boys' field because they can't get it, because that field was already given to somebody else. No, that field was given to the boy. There's another field. There's another field that next Tuesday, there's another field that you sold to Shimon Pachachovsky Ploini Almoini, and that field is what I want. Why? Because I claim that since you gave me shtar with achrayus and you failed because the field it belongs to the boy, not to me, was snatched away from me. Therefore, I am now with achrayus, with a shtar with achrayus. I want to collect like every shtar achrayus from the customers who bought it other fields from you later. Now you understand the case, I believe. And that is the question. Can he or can he not use the shtar, which is not a real shtar mechira? It's a real shtar, but there's no real mechira. The shtar is a good shtar, they're real edim. But Lamaisa, in the big context, in the big picture, we all know he had no kavanah to sell him whatsoever. And that's a question. Does the achrayus stand as its own entity? And we say, listen, there's no sale, but achrayus is there, and it's with the shtar. And therefore, the customer, Shimon Levi Pechachovsky, the second who bought it next week, he should have known better. He should have done his due diligence. And now, Mr. Victim, who gave the money, he can go to that guy, yes or no, or maybe no. Maybe you can say, like you made a face, mapitom. It's not a sale. It's not a shtar. The whole thing is one big charade. And therefore, there's no achrayus either. That's a question. Clear or no? Yes? Okay, question time. Omar Abaye. Abaye is attempting to answer the question. Last line. The lav hainu de Rabbi Asi. Isn't our case similar to Rabbi Asi's case? Doma Abasi. Rabbi Asi says as follows. So Abasi says like this. We've seen it a few times. The story is as follows. A person who admits that he wrote a shtar. Let's say I come to you with a shtar. The shtar says, you, Yosef, you owe me 1,000,000 shekels. Okay? Don't worry. It's fine. Yeah? Now, Yosef owes me 1,000,000 shekel, and that's what's written here. The assumption is, if I hold a shtar, then it's a good shtar. We assume that shtars are actually good shtars, and if there are two edim, and I hold the shtar, if you say, excuse me, that shtar is false and I never wrote it, then I need to bring edim to bring the edim themselves, the edim that actually wrote the shtar and testified in the shtar and signed in the shtar. They'll have to come and we have to identify them. We'll have to identify them because you claim that the shtar is not a good shtar. Okay? However, if you admitted that you wrote the shtar, then, and I did not bring any edim that the shtar is real, I mean, they're signed, but we don't know who they are, then the shtar is a good shtar. What's the chiddush? Of course, you admit for the shtar, that's good. The chiddush is missing here from the Gemara. The chiddush here is, you could say, listen, Akiva, it's a very good shtar, but I paid it already. Ha ha ha, migo. Remember our amigo? I'm the one who said that the shtar is good. Without my words, the shtar wouldn't be a good shtar. The shtar is only good because I admitted I wrote it, says the loiva, says the one that we claim against, yeah? So maybe you should also believe me that I paid the entire shtar. We say, no, you cannot say that. Why? Because shtars are assumed to be good even without your grand oido. If you're not koifer, if you're koifer, that would be a different story. Once you're moided that the shtar is good, we know that the shtar is good anyways because we assume stam shtars are good if they're held by the right person, which is the malve. So it's not called amigo. What does that have to do with our sugya? The Rishonim go crazy. Listen to the next line. The goyvim and nechasim meshuabadim, which means as follows. If you write a shtar, if I have a shtar, and that shtar is questionable, the only reason we know that the shtar is good is because you admitted that you wrote the shtar. You, the loiva, say, yeah, the shtar is a good shtar, right? In other words, the shtar is only standing on its legs because the loiva supports its existence. And yet, the shtar is so strong, you can go with the shtar, the one who is the malve, And the loiva says, yeah, it's all true. I'm sorry, I don't have money. Go to my customer who bought a field 2 months after the sale, yeah, the loan. Then I'll go to that person and collect and charge from him from the third person who bought the field from the loiva later. Oh, so what do you see? You see that shtaros, even if they're questionable, lemaisa gvia can be done from nechasim meshuabadim. Achrayus is a strong thing, regardless of the shtar itself. That's what we're aiming to say. If the shtar was admitted, and the only legs we have to stand on the shtar is because the loiv admitted that it's a real shtar, the shtar becomes so strong, and we can say, "Oh, go ahead with the shtar and collect from other people." Same thing over here. That shtar itself is a one big question mark, but the achrayus stands by itself. That's what we're trying to say. Amar le Rove now answers the Baye, midami, that's not the same. Ma pitom. Hosom nitan li kosev. There the shtar was a good shtar. It's meant to be written. It contains real value. It's true that we only know that it's a good shtar thanks to the admittance of the Baal Choiv. But once he admitted, it's a super duper good shtar, it's shtar Choiv. Obviously. Hocho lo nitan li kosev. Here the entire shtar was not meant to be written. Here, the entire shtar is just a way to get him off the back. We all know that the shtar was written as one big fib, one big lie, not lie. What misken? He had to write the shtar to get the blackmailer off his back. But the Maisa, the whole shtar we know is one big garnished. And therefore, like you wanted to say, obviously the achrayus is not an achrayus because the sale is not a sale. Achrayus is a detail in the sale. Here there was no sale. So of course the achrayus should be nothing, or at least it's a question. Don't bring me a proof from a regular shtar, which we rely on by the loive. Yosef Marema, second attempt. We still had a question. There is a shtar, which is a good shtar, but it doesn't contain real value of mechira. Is the achrayus of the shtar good achrayus? Can the buyer, who was kilu cheated out of his money, the buyer, yeah, can he now go to the customer, to a third person who bought the field from the seller, because the seller didn't really provide him with the goods because it belonged to his son already. Yosef Maremer v'koma lo shmaitza. Maremer was sitting down and was learning this sugya. Omar Ravina and Maremer. Ravina now approached Maremer with an insight about the question: is it or isn't it good achrayus? Omar Ravina and Maremer. Ela hod Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Listen to the story which we just learned at the end of yesterday's year. What did Rabbi Yochanan say? Gzeira shema yigva mizman rishon. What did Rabbi Yochanan say? If I lend you money, Nissan, it's still Nissan, last day of Nissan, and you and I decide nobody knows any better, and let's write predated for Tishrei, for 6 months ago, and that's going to work very nice for us. It's going to work very, very nicely for us. Why? Because what can you do now? Any person who bought field from who? From the loive, right? From the loive, anytime between Tishrei and Nisan, they bought fields from me. Now you, the malve, can go and collect the fields from them falsely, and it's a lie. You can say, listen, you bought a field from the borrower in Teves, Shvat, Adar. I'm so sorry. Look, my shtar was before you. You bought a collateralized piece of land. You bought already mortgaged land, and it's not true. The land wasn't yet mortgaged because the loan never took place yet. So it's not a completely false shtar. Everything else in the shtar is true. There was a real loan. There was a real thing, real edim. Maybe the edim don't even know. There's a question, or maybe they thought there was a loan. There's a shaila because Kosil Maldi, Efel and Loiv Imoy. Lemaisa, the shtar is not completely bad. And by the way, what did we say yesterday? There are those who say the shtar should be a kosher shtar, right? According to Rish Lakish, according to Chomim. If I use the shtar for any sale that was post the real date, let's say in ER, Sivan, Tammuz, people will buy from the borrower, then it's true. Then you can use this shtar. That's what I would say. Use the shtar because then it's true that your halva was before their sale, right? Oh, however, Rabbi Yochanan said that lekula alma, the shtar is treif. This entire shtar, treif. Why do we disqualify the shtar completely? Because, like I said about the 6 years old with a gun, you give 6 years old a gun, you can't say, I hope he'll do something educational with it, just get it out of his system and shoot, rubber ducks in the forest, with protected environment. That's nice. but maybe he'll shoot all his classmates in school. You don't know, right? In other words, that shtar, don't use the shtar, which is really a good shtar, because maybe the person will abuse it and actually use it for people who bought before the real loan took place, right? From the time written in the shtar, not from the real time of the alvo. That's a chash. Frag the Gemara, why? Why do you have to come out to that reason? You're right, Rabbi Yochanan, but why do you have to tell me it's a good shtar? Elamai, don't use the shtar, lest you'll use it for the wrong person, for the person who kilu to overtake him in the queue, in the line. Why? Nema, just say simply, lonita nechasim. You can say this shtar is shvindlerai. Just say this shtar is bad. If you're telling me that shtaras that have any issue with them cannot be used at all, in other words, just like our shtar is a good shtar in our story, but we know there's no sale here too. Why do you have to tell me to pinpoint the reason? Don't let him the gun. Maybe he'll go to school and shoot his friends. Just say, gun is dangerous. Just say, this shtar is treif. This shtar is not meant to be written whatsoever. The shtar is just false as of itself. The answer is very simple. It's not the same. Is that the same? No. Hossam over there, that shtar is not completely bad. There was a real loan and everything else is true. There's one detail that is wrong. It's not Nitan Likosev is Man Rishoin. The date is wrong. It was not meant to have the date Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan Tishrei Tafshin Pei Gimel. The date stinks and it's wrong. It should have been Nisan. Aval Nitan Likosev is Man Sheni. In other words, that everything else in the shtar is right. There's a real loan, real people, real everything. It's not fake. It should have said on the title that the date is what? Nisan and not Tishrei. In our case, Litan Nechasim Klal, right? Over here, it's not the same at all. Why? Here, the entire shtar, from beginning to end, is just a joke. The person who sold his field in his heart is saying, I'm getting back at the blackmailer. I'm going to write my life story. My autobiography is on its way. How smart I am to Schwindler the Schwindler. But the entire sale, right from the start till the end, is not a sale at all. So that shtar is one big piece of fake. He's protecting himself from another faker, okay? But the whole thing is one big fake. And there you want to tell me that the achrayus works? Not the same like a shtar mukdam. Shtar mukdam is good, but it has a big default in it. And you have to explain, no, the kid may take it to school. It's a problem, you may abuse it. Otherwise, it's a good shtar. Here, the whole shtar is just never started. Ella, another attempt, a third attempt to resolve the question. Ella, Hadetanya. The following brisa. More on the issue of taking and charging karkois, etc. Shvach karkois ketzad. It says, let me just give introduction. It says a brisa in Gittin, I think Subas also, certain above Metzia before also. What shvach karkois? We all know the basic story. Reuven borrowed money from or sold field to who? To Shimon. Shimon, from some reason, never got paid the loan, or Shimon's field was snatched away from him. Shimon is now angrily going back to Reuven. Reuven says, don't worry. It's achrayus. I have achrayus to you. Therefore, go to who? Go to the guy who bought a field from me after I had my dealings with you, right? My karkois, since it's achrayus, all my lands are mortgaged to you automatically, right? There's a shtar. Go ahead. What do you want from me? I'm a nice guy. I send my kids to Hader. And what? And I actually sold my field, other fields, 3-4 fields were sold to Reuven, Shimon, Levi, and Pachachovsky, and I sold it to them. No problem. Go knock on the door of any of them, right? The first, the whole priority over there, and get the field from them. That's a basic story. Yeah, the bank runs after the mortgaged land, as we know. Finished. How about Shvach Kois? Let's say, and we're going to see how that happens. I'm just translating now. Let's say it's a bit of a gray area. Let's say a person bought a field from someone, okay, and he started now improving the field. He improved the field. Now that field was snatched away from him. Now, yeah, you owe me not only the basics, you also owe me the entire Shvach Karkois, right? The everything that I improved there was taken from me, right? Now that he cannot claim from the customer. In other words, if I sold someone fake, bad, whatever the bad thing happened, of $1 million, now the customers who buy from me should have the due diligence to look into the Tabu website and see how much is it worth. He owes million to someone. He sold some fishy land with $1 million. I'll be careful when I buy from him, from the one owing money. I'll make sure that he still has other million shekel in his bank account or in other fields. So when what I bought still leaves him enough room to pay from his own money to the one he owes to. That is good. But if it's a shvach, we have no idea how much is the shvach karkos. It's an open-ended amount. It's a hole in the pocket. I don't know if he built their hotel worth 100 million, or maybe he just built their nice field of 2 million. There's no way I can know. You can't say due diligence to amounts that are open-ended. Therefore, those kinds of amounts he cannot take from the customer of the one owing. If you got confused, the Gemara will explain everything. If you don't get it, I'll make a chart on the wall. I promise. Ketzad. Listen to the following story. It's one of the stories. Nice and slow. It will be very clear. Bezros Hashem. Bezros Hashem. Harei. Shegozal soda michaveroi. The main guy is always called Reuven. Reuven is a very nice guy. Sometimes the Yetzer Hara gets the better of him. So Reuven stole a field from his friend. Yeah. How did he steal? He put a sign on the door. Reuven. That's Reuven. Now, Reuven is a real estate dealer. Nothing personal, yeah? Reuven is a guy who has different fields. He's a kochelefel, schwindler, yeah? Arranges things in all kinds of different ways. But Reuven wants to keep his good name. It's not Stam story, I'm telling you. It's all related to the real story. Reuven he stole a field from someone, from Shimon, and he sold it to Machra le'acher. He sold it to Levi. Anything wrong? Reuven is the one arranging things his way. He has his own set of morals. He stole the field from Shimon and sold it to Levi. Levi is so happy. The Ishbicha, what did I tell you? Levi took that dungeon, that rundown place in South Tel Aviv, and what did he do? Levi, the customer, has no idea that what he is now owning is stolen property. He started improving it. Rundown, leaking, disgusting. You come there a year later, wow. The best interior designer, handyman, Shiputznik, architect, stunning palace. It was worth 1 million shekel. Surely now it's 4 million. Okay, very nice. And then comes the scary knock on the door. One dark day comes the person knocking on the door. What's his name? Shimon. And Shimon says, I'm so sorry, but your apartment really belongs to me. Reuven is a schwindler. Now, Shimon, I think, Levi now bought from Reuven, right? He thought it bought from Reuven, and he's not very happy with Reuven. He's a little bit angry with Reuven. Yeah, Shimon, the real owner, snatched him, kicked him out of the apartment, said, it's my apartment. Well, Beis Din did. Now, Shimon, the very irate customer, comes to Levi, the irate customer, comes to Reuven. You sold me what? You sold me a stolen field. Give me a stolen apartment. Give me back not 1 million. Give me 4 million because I improved it and the entire thing was taken from me. Of course, you can claim that Shimon, leave Shimon out of the story because you can claim Shimon should give back the money. It's a good question, but it's not related right now. Okay. Now he says to Reuven, excuse me, Reuven, you wrote achrayus, and he did. The one who sold the stolen field, Reuven, he actually wrote in the shtar, achrayus. If anything happens to the field, you come to me. Okay. So now, says Reuven, I'm your friendly what? Wheeler dealer, friendly real estate dealer. I have other fields that I sold to other people. Go from them and collect not just the 1 million, collect all 4 million from other people who bought it from me, from Yehuda, from other people who bought other fields from me. In other words, that's what achrayus is. Achrayus means you don't just go to my property, you go to people who bought fields from me because you have a shtar. Yeah, and with achrayus. Now we say no. The 1 million that was not legally, that was officially sold to Shimon, the 1 million field is what really should be taken away from Yehuda, from the customer. Yehuda, when he bought from Reuven, Yehuda should have known there was a deal of 1 million. It's advertised all over the internet, all over the business world, and that was his due diligence. He should have been would have been careful. Could have been careful. Why did you buy 1 million field? Didn't you know that he has 1 million that he sold to who? The Reuven the Schwindler sold to Levi? You should have known. Fine. The shvach goyim nechasim and choirin. The extra 3 million? How would I know? I have no idea to be careful with amounts when he bought the field. Yeah, when Levi bought the apartment in South Tel Aviv or the field, whatever that is, I have no idea how much he's going to improve it. I'm not a prophet. I know it will be 3 million, 1 million, or 30 million. He's going to make it to the Buckingham Palace. I have no idea. It's an open-ended thing. You can't expect me to do due diligence on a field on an amount that is absolutely open-ended and is up to the investor of the buyer to invest whichever way he wants. And therefore, that extra 3 million, the one who was swindled and comes with the shtar the achrayus, I have achrayus. I'm knocking on the doors of all the customers of the swindler. It's all very nice. We sympathize with you, but you can't actually take open-ended big amounts, like a quicksilver kind of thing, and expect them to pay that for you. They have no idea. They cannot know how much you're going to invest in it, and therefore only the minimum amount is given to him from the mortgage, from the sold fields, but not the extra amount. 1 minute. That was the case. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Dr. Gemara, wait a second. Name Elanitan Likosev. Wait a second. Let's just, clear the mist here. Why is it that anything really, why is there any achrayus whatsoever? Was that a real sale? Are you guys serious? The whole thing was one big schwindlerai. When Reuven sold a field that's not his, it's not a real sale. It's similar to what? To our case. The whole thing was one big fake thing right from the start. Because when Reuven, the Schwindler, sold, sold, I cannot sell your house to other people, right? The whole thing was not a sale. And therefore, the achrayus written there is not real achrayus. Oh, and yet we see not like that. Ah, upa. That's a terrific proof to our case, to the case of the one defending himself from the blackmailer. Why? Because really, what's going on here? There is no real sale, and yet there is achrayus. And Ellen, it does make sense. Why? Because even though the sale is not real, maybe the person wants to what? Protect the other person from himself. Yeah, I'm shooting you, but at the same time, I'm giving you a shield, which does make sense, as we're going to see soon. Maybe the same thing is over here. There was no real sale because I want to keep the field to myself. It's my prized field, and I gave it to my little boy. That's protected from you, Mr. Blackmailer, but it doesn't mean there's no achrayus. Maybe achrayus in the shtar works as a separate entity, and I took money from you for no reason. I'm also not a nice guy. Maybe that money has to be given back to you in the form of fields of other people. That's the question. Answers the Gemara, no. Hachi ashta, you can't compare it. You cannot compare the two cases. Why? Awesome. Over there, the Schwindler, I wasn't joking when I said he's not a complete, he's not a mafia guy. He's not some, highwayman. That person there is a decent person who slipped once, and therefore, Ilaman de Omar, Nichale de lo nikre gazlono. According to one Mandor in Daftes Vov Amud base over there, it says the person who stole the field from Shimon and sold it to Levi, he wants to keep his good name. And therefore, the achrayus is a real achrayus. So why did he sell someone else's field? Is he crazy? You know what was his plan? His plan was as follows. He wanted to put the cart before the horses. He is a big, nice, businessman. He wants to sell people's apartments. Now that guy Levi came to him from Chutz La'aretz and said, that dingy apartment, I have a dream. I want to turn it into a palace. I want this apartment. The apartment wasn't yet sold. That's a problem. So he wants to, Reuven, the Schwindler, the wheeler dealer, he wants to sell it to Levi, and he hopes he'll convince Shimon to sell it to him. Get what I'm saying? He hopes to legalize it later. It's, like people living together before the chasana. Eventually they'll be okay. And I'm saying, he wants to start. No, wait. No, wait. Why is it really so important for him to legalize it? One opinion says he doesn't want people, what's people? He doesn't want Levi to meet him in the street and call him thief, liar, in the middle of the street. You sold me a stolen property. He doesn't want to have that ineimut. doesn't have that inconvenience, that bad feeling. Or another opinion said over there, he has a good name. He wants to keep his good name. In other words, yeah, it's not a joke. He's not a guy who's a thief, mamish. He wants, even business thieves want to keep some kind of facade. So he really wants to do what? He wants to keep his good name and not be called a thief. There's a difference, we'll see later. Because of those reasons, his plan was as follows. He wanted to be mefayes. He said, I'm going to quickly sell it to the guy who's very hot in the apartment, to Levi, and then I'll be mefayes. I'll appease the real owner, Mr. Shimon, and tell Shimon, okay, Shimon, please sell it to me for good price. Let's arrange it between us. I'll be mefayes you, and really the shtar would be a good shtar. He's hoping to legalize the shtar. Lemafra, bidiuk. He's doing it the wrong way. Eventually, the couple who lives together, they want to get married. Like nice Jewish people. People unfortunately do that. Yeah. The Faisle Lamari. He eventually wants to what? What does he want to do? He wants to really what? Legalize it. Therefore, in such a case, we'd say the achrayus is a real achrayus. Because the sale is a real sale, the plan didn't work. Shimon says, no, I'm not selling it to you. You sold my apartment? No. I'm not getting married in my mashal? No. I'm running to Levi and I'm going to snatch the apartment from him. Oh, but Lemais, in his mind, he wanted to have a real sale. That makes sense. He wants to make money and keep his good name. Therefore, there the achrayus works because there is something real there. So the achrayus is the real achrayus. Over here, no. Again and again and again. This shtar is fake from beginning to end. Nothing, not fake. It's not a sale. It's lavruchimine. He wants to chase away, to get him off his back right from the beginning till the end. To sell it to that swindler, to sell it to that blackmailer, no way. You saw that I gave it b'matana to my 8 years old son, little boy, nice. I have no idea no intention whatsoever to sell it to that guy, and everybody knows that. Shtar mikayim. Question mark, rhetorical question. When I said the shtar is a real shtar with real achrayus, no shtar, no sale, no achrayus. The whole thing is a complete fake, and Ellen was right all along, and that is the maskone. I just want to point out one thing. The Gemara gave 2 reasons why the person would actually wants to keep his good name. We said what? He doesn't want to be shouted at in the street by the buyer. The buyer shouldn't say, hey, you, in front of everyone. And everybody will know that the nice Yerushalayim real estate guy is not so nice. Yeah, you'll shout at him in the street, or he just wants to keep his good name. What's the difference? The Gemara Dafta Zayin Amud Aleph, I refreshed my memory and I checked again. The Gemara says there's enough kamina between the 2 answers. What's enough kamina? Let's say he stole it from Shimon and gave it to Levi as a gift for free. Nice. That's a difference. To call him a thief, yeah, Levi, the buyer, cannot call him a thief because Levi didn't pay not even 1 dime. He even paid for the lawyer. So you can't say you're a thief. For me, you didn't take my money because he paid no money. On the other hand, yeah, Lemaisa he stole. So Levi, who got the matana for free from the swindler, will still tell all his friends in WhatsApp and everywhere. He will tell them, beware of the guy. He was nice. He was nice to me. Gave me for free. But eventually, that gift, easy come, easy go, was taken from me because really he's a swindler. He's a liar. He bought it. He stole it from someone. Yeah, and that's enough kamina. But at the end of the day, because he wants to avoid either this or that, Lemaisa, the sale up to a point, mitzido, is attempting to do a real sale. And therefore, the achrayus in the shtar is not complete nonsense. It's something. Therefore, there the achrayus works. Therefore, there the one that the land was snatched from can go with achrayus in the shtar and knock on people's door, and he will get the minimum amount from them, not the 4 million, the 1 million. In our case, that's not the case. In our case, mapitom. In our case, the whole thing was one big shtus from beginning to end. It was just a very clear, smart way to get rid of the blackmailer. That's all. But there's nothing there, and therefore the achrayus is dysfunctional and is nothing. Very, very quick question session because we're very much behind. Okay, let's continue with questions quick. Says the Mishnah, back to Ribbis, hardcore Ribbis. The truth is the following Mishnah, we actually saw quotes, and a lot to do with this Mishnah was already discussed in earlier sug. Yes, let's see the Mishnah. Ein poiskin ala peilos ad sheyetze ashar. Let's explain. Let's refresh our memory regarding what's called psika. Let's say I come to someone's shop, yeah, early. What do you mean early? Not early in the morning. Before, let's say this is some kind of commercial environment in which this guy has some wheat. I'm a wheat merchant and I want to buy wheat from the big guy. Okay, I want to buy the wheat from him. And now other people don't have wheat, or other people have wheat, other merchants have wheat, but they did not yet decide on one fixed market price. Okay? And now we know that for him, he can give me every kilo of wheat for, I don't know, 100 shekels. And we very well know once the merchandise will be open in the market, once it will be bigger and better, and more people will sell, then it will not be 100, it will be 200. And I tell him, listen, hey, 100 shekel I'm giving you now per kilo, okay? 100 shekel per kilo, good. But remember me, remember Grant, remember Lee, remember me. I am the one who gave you the 100. Even though later it's very likely it will become 200, remember me with the old price. I want to keep the price of 100. And even though later everybody else will be selling it for 200, I'm giving you now the money. So I am now waiting for my money. I gave you money, I prepaid. For a long time, I don't have that. Could be 10,000 shekels if I buy a lot of wheat. Yeah. So listen carefully. I'm waiting patiently for my money, and you have my money. You, the seller, you can do a lot of things with the 10,000 shekels, right? Buy more stuff and buy yourself, I don't know, new bicycle, do whatever you want. And then I will get expensive schoira worth 20,000 for the old price. Does that sound nice to you? No, that's very nice. It's a good deal, but it's ribis the rabbanon. It's not the oraisa. The rabbanon, it's ribis. Why? Because if we take off the mask, the one who's buying is really lending. I'm now giving you money, right? You are agar natar. These are the dirty words we're all scared of. Agar natar. I'm waiting for my money. I'm waiting 2-3 months patiently for my money. I waited for my money, which I gave you for nothing. I gave it to you what? For sale. True. The sale didn't take place yet. I didn't get my merchandise. Therefore, remember me and give me something worth 20 for the original 10. That smells very much like the R word, ribis, right? And therefore, midorabonon, it's osir. Why midorabonon? Why not midoraisa? For two reasons. Reason number one, it's not doraisa, is because it's not halva. Lamaisa, it's done in a business way, not in a loan way. I didn't lend you. I'm buying. I'm buying in a way that's similar to halva, but it's a purchase. The terminology, the background is purchasing. And therefore, in this case, it's called what? Mechire. But with the Rabbanon, of course, there's very strong elements of ribis. Rabbanon forbade it. The other reason why it's not the Araisa is because it's not ribis ktsutza. Although it's very likely that the 10,000 will become 20,000, we don't know. Maybe there won't be inflation. We never know. It's likely, but not 100%. It's not ribis ktsutza. We didn't say, okay, I gave you 10, give me 20. Boom, katsutz. Clear cut. Katsutz, cut. No, I'm assuming it will go higher, inflation, higher market, more into the business, more into it becomes more expensive later. Very nice. That is likely, but not certain. And therefore, we say that it's not called ribis doraisa. However, it schmecks very much like ribis, so dorabonon aserdit avak ribis. Let's read the Mishnah again. En poisken al peros at sheyetze ashar. Oh, what's yetze ashar? Once there is a fixed market price, all the people in the market decided that they all sell now what? The wheat for 10 shekel a kilo, 100 shekel a kilo, yeah, and it's been decided that that's the market price, then it's okay. Yotza shar poiskin. Once the shar is out, once there was official, unofficial decision, wherever you go, the normal market price, unless the guy is doing I know, but normally there is like a shar, there's a rate, there's a going rate by everybody, then I'm allowed to do it. I'm allowed to tell the guy, listen, I'm now buying you for 100 shekel a kilo, although it's likely there'll be inflation later on, and I'm still keeping my old price. That is allowed. Why is that allowed? I'll tell you why. Because lamaisa, what's the idea? The idea is, I'm giving you money, and you're doing me a big favor by not taking my money, by promising me to give me more for less. So I'm like the malve. The malve is not allowed to get any favors from the love. Here, if I can go to your next door neighbor, it's not such a big favor anymore. I can go to the other guy and buy it from him just as much. Yeah. Or another explanation, you can go with my money, with the 10,000 that I gave you, even if you don't have wheat in your granary, in your store, but your neighbor has it. Yeah. Lemaisa, it's called as if we already closed the deal. In other words, let me give another small introduction. The entire problem is when you don't have any wheat in your granary, in your shop. I should have said it before. You don't have any wheat b'chlal. I gave you money for what? For nothing. It's like a loan. The wheat will come later. Oh, that's a whole new thing. And instead of 10, you'll give me 20,000 from original 10,000. But if you have wheat in your own shop, then we say it's ki'ilu, the deal was done. You remember it from last time, right? It's ki'ilu a done deal. In other words, it's just a technicality until I pull the chitin from your shop. I decide to leave them in your shop because I'm going to a holiday in I don't know, in LA. That's it. Finished. Lemaisa, the deal was conceptually done. It's just technicality until you get it to me. That's why it's okay. We expand it and extend it, and we say even if the seller doesn't have it, but his neighbor has it, it's the same thing. I gave you 10,000. You can go to your next door neighbor. Conceptually, you can go knock on the door, give the 10,000 to your neighbor or to the other merchant, and get it to me. Right? You could have done that too. It wasn't done, and that's a technical zach. And therefore, lemaisa, it's considered as if the deal was done, and it's as if the chita became expensive in my domain, the buyer. That's not a problem. Yeah, because it's available already. It's available by other people for the same price. We'll continue tomorrow. Actually, we'll restart the Mishnah tomorrow. We didn't get very far today, but we got deep today. It was a bit difficult, all the cases, so we didn't really get an Amud. You can watch it online, YouTube people, and of course, to any time. And everybody here, thank you very much. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you. Sorry, see you on Sunday.